KwaZulu-Natal is gearing up for a busy New Year's Eve. Over 20 events are expected to take place across the province. A man on the ground, SABC reporter Mlungisi Khumalo, has more on the New Year's Eve preparation, and he joins us now live from Durban. Hey Mlu, thank you very much indeed for your time, sir. What's on the cards?
Hi, Blaine, and a very good morning to our viewers at home. Like you said, already KwaZulu-Natal has over 20 events that they are going to hold during the festive season, namely the Umhlathuze Last Dance, which is said to be the mother of all parties. And of course, you also recall that this year we are going to have the Facts Durban Rocks musical concerts as well as some events throughout the North Coast as well as the South Coast. But where I am right now, I'm in the heart of where all these festivities are actually taking place in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, eThekwini municipality to be more precise. And we understand that during the festive season alone, we have already had over 850 tourists and visitors visiting our shores. And now we also understand that figure is actually said to be growing. And we also had an opportunity now to also talk to some of the law enforcement authorities as well as traffic authorities. They said to us they expect high volumes of traffic to actually be across the whole entire province. And also we understand that at the Marine Hill Toll Plaza alone, they expect over 250 cars to actually pass through coming into the city of Durban. And now to tell me more about the festivities and to give me an overview of the tourism dynamics in the province, I've got the CEO of KwaZulu-Natal Tourism, Mrs. Pindile Makwakwa. Thank you very much for your time, ma'am. Just give us a brief overview. How have we fared so far in this season in terms of tourism and figures?
We've been doing very well, and you do know that during the festive season, KwaZulu-Natal becomes the province to visit for all South Africans and also for outsiders. So it has been very well received. We've worked very closely with Durban Tourism as Tourism KZN to really make sure that not only in Durban but also other parts of the province we spread the numbers, and so we're very happy with the performance so far.
Tell us about tourism, township tourism. Have you tapped in that particular department?
Absolutely. I must say, really, the people who are leading the pack is eThekwini in terms of the various experiences you can have in terms of township tourism. But we're working with other municipalities, and you're seeing quite a lot of other places mushrooming from your Richards Bay area to the South Coast area. Just last week, we went to KwaDuguza, a really wonderful place called 1011, which really is a beautiful experience that you can do. Firstly, the Albert Luthuli Museum, and then go for lunch and have a Shisanyama experience just around the corner. So really, you're finding a lot of people are tapping into developing their township areas, but not only township, rural areas as well. So rural tourism is also booming. But of course, we want to do more, especially in terms of having more products that can meet the demand for tourism.
Makwakwa, we've also noticed now that especially in inland of KwaZulu-Natal, this is where tourism is also booming. I mean, we talk about the Berg, we talk about the Midlands. Tell us more about that.
What really it is about is that we've worked much harder to ensure that there's geographic spread of tourism experiences. What you normally find with international tourists, they're more aware of the offerings of the province as a whole. But there's always been this mentality among South Africans that when you're talking travel to KZN and you talk Durban, of course, because they want to enjoy the coastline. And we say to them, we've got over 600 kilometers of coastline in the province, and so experience other parts as well as inland experiences. So we're really introducing a culture of travel that's different to just doing what is traditionally known. So we say to people, actually, you can take your family and enjoy a wildlife experience, for instance, in Hluhluwe. You can also go to Drakensberg and really have a myriad of activities in Drakensberg with your family where you're not necessarily doing the beach experience, but then also then mix that up with maybe the South Coast or Durban for that beach experience. And of course, we're known for big adventures. You know, we've got a lot of adventure activities. So we're showcasing that as well. So it is really through much more awareness of what the destination has to offer that people are now exploring more of the province.
Peter, let's talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve, and of course the following day is New Year's Day. We are expecting a buzz of activities throughout the whole entire province. Just run us through, what can we expect?
Oh, well, there's so much. We do have over 20 events that between Durban Tourism and Tourism KZN, of course, supported by our Department of Tourism, that are being hosted, are being supported, we've partnered. So, for instance, Richards Bay, there's a Last Dance event tomorrow evening. And again, the reason we support these events is to say, let's not have a congestion in Durban, let's spread to other places. So that has become very popular. It's flighted live on SABC. I hope this year also it's live. And so that's a huge event. But not only that, we've supported other smaller events like in Hluhluwe. There's an event that's being hosted there. South Coast, there are events there. They are largely still in Durban, but there's a whole different events happening right across the province. So I really just encourage people to just really go on social media, find out about the various events and attend. Some of them, they are gate takings, others are free to the public, especially the ones that are on the seaside. So it is a very busy 31st December.
I understand that tomorrow we've got Mlungisi Last Dance, which is said to be the mother of all parties. I mean, definitely I'm going to be there, but unfortunately I'm going to be working. Tell us about that.
Oh, well, what it is really, it is a musical experience that caters for everyone, young and old, and families as well. But what is even more important for us about it is that the local businesses benefit, not just businesses that are established, but people really find creative ways of actually giving services to tourists, whether it's people are assisting with parking services or selling various food and beverages. And so you find that the whole place buzzes with economic activity. And of course, hotel occupancy is at 100%. So people open their houses as well to offer accommodation because it's such a big event and it's created such a demand that we are experiencing a bit of over-tourism during that period.
Talking of jobs and employment or opportunities, how many jobs have been created so far in this particular festive period alone in terms of permanent and temporary jobs?
Oh, and when you talk about festive in particular around jobs, we do that assessment post the festive season itself. But if you look at the numbers that are coming in, over 1 million tourists that are expected during the whole season, and an injection of 1.5 billion. In fact, we're projecting between 1.5 to 1.8 billion injection. And that's not just in terms of traditional hospitality services. That's a whole value chain. So we'll be able to gauge in terms of further job opportunities that have been created. But what is most important is that you're finding young people also getting more into the sector and finding ways in which they participate and they benefit. So when you're talking about, for instance, braai lounges that are mushrooming around, they are part of the tourism value chain. So we'll be able to gauge exactly for the festive season, but over 800,000 jobs created by the tourism sector in general outside of the season.
Pindile, those are some very interesting numbers. I mean, it's all rosy, nothing gloomy there. But now let's make a comparison between last year and this year. How have we fared over the years?
What you've seen, yes, international tourism, we've experienced a boom. We are sitting, when we compare to 2017, 2018 performance is sitting at over a 3% increase in terms of our international numbers. Domestically, we've had a strain as a country, and it's a number of factors. We've had a strained economy, we've had fuel prices going up, and so you're finding that South Africans generally, when they look at prioritizing, tourism does tend to be one of those luxuries that take the first chop in terms of the financial priorities. But with what we've done about that is that we are showcasing the affordability of tourism. So we are promoting packages that showcase that actually it's affordable, it's cost effective, so that you can still have people still taking that well-deserved holiday, because it is about a person's well-being. So taking a holiday and doing that short left is about being a holistically more happy person, less stressed, and so it is part of what people need to do really. But people do tend to still see it as a luxury. So the numbers have gone down countrywide, but we work with South African tourism as well through the short left campaign to really improve the numbers and boost them again.
The festive season is not over, Pindile. I mean, it almost finishes on the 5th of January. I mean, there are some people out there who still want to come and experience the province of KwaZulu-Natal, but they're a bit short-changed. I mean, they don't have enough money. What advice would you give to them?
My advice is that don't break the bank, of course. What is important is that you find ways in which you can go and have experiences that are not so expensive. So take, for instance, SMVelo KZN Wildlife allows public to go into their parks at a very low cost. And so you can actually take a day trip, take a drive, and go back home and not necessarily stay in a hotel. So there are ways in which you can actually still experience tourism but not doing the full package of a tourism experience.
Thank you very much, Pindile Makwakwa. This was Pindile Makwakwa, the acting CEO rather of KwaZulu-Natal Tourism. I mean, she's giving us a holistic overview as to what tourism in the province can actually expect come New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And of course, she also mentioned that we've got Mlungisi, which is said to be the mother of all parties. And also quite interesting enough, she said despite the technical recession that we've just gone through, despite the high tax increase, despite the high petrol increase, people have actually started coming into the province of KwaZulu-Natal and they have been spending their money. And also quite interesting enough, this year the biggest winner in terms of tourism has been township tourism. I mean, we've not seen this in years. I mean, we've got Max, we've got Ayatini. That is where most people now actually prefer to go and spend their monies. But Blaine, I can assure that we'll be crisscrossing the whole entire province, trying to solicit the views of some of the tourists in our province. I don't know if you can see properly over here, but it's quite a gloomy weather, but people have actually decided to come to the beach in their numbers and actually swim. The gloomy weather has actually not come between them and them enjoying themselves at the beach. As they say, no gloomy weather formed against tourists can stop them from coming to our lovely shores. Over back to you in studio, Playing.
Oh, preach on, brother. Thank you very much indeed.